There was a girl going into the forest to pick herbal. Her name is Shirayuki. She has a small herbal shop in the Tanbaran Kingdom. Becoming a physician has been her dream for a long time, and she is very happy about her choice. The prince of this kingdom, named Raj, was complacent with his handsome appearance, so he was reminded by his courtier, Sakaki. He is looking for more concubines for him, and the girl in question is Shirayuki. She has long, red hair that is very rare in this world. Because of her beauty and hair, everyone came to her pharmacy just to look at her. Suddenly, the prince's soldiers came to force her to be Prince Raj's concubine and gave her a deadline to come to the castle tomorrow. Hearing that news, she became desperate. After thinking carefully, Shirayuki decided to cut her red hair and run away from this place. After a long day of traveling, she found a house to stay in, but there was no one inside. Tired and hungry, she fell asleep. The next day, when she woke up, she heard someone's voice, then suddenly a white-haired guy passed by, and the two of them encountered each other. He was unfortunately injured, and two other people came to check on him. While they were talking, Shirayuki tried to slip away but was discovered. The white-haired guy was suspicious of her and found her strange red hair. She saw he was injured and took her herbal to help him, but he suspected she might use poison. So she hurt herself and then used herbal on her own body to prove it, leaving him stunned. He found her very interesting, and he introduced himself as Zen. Everyone went into the abandoned house to rest. Zen introduced the guy with blue hair named Mitsuhide. The blonde girl's name is Kiki. Zen asked her why she left home, and she didn't want to explain and went out for a walk. After Zen's questions, Shirayuki told Zen everything. Because Prince liked her hair, she cut it, left it for him, and then left. Zen found her very interesting and said that even though her hair made her fate determined by others, but she stood up to choose her fate. Hearing that, Shirayuki admired Zen's maturity. The two returned and noticed a basket of apples placed in front of the door. Shirayuki finds her belongings at the pharmacy and realizes that Prince Raj in her country has found her. Zen was upset when Shirayuki mentioned Raj. Raj is rumored to be the Prince of Idiot. When she was sad and picked up the apple and thought about the unhappiness of her life, Zen approached and bit the apple she was holding in her hand. Unfortunately, Zen fell to the ground a moment later. Everyone panicked and discovered that the apple was laced with poison. Shirayuki was worried because she didn't have an antidote when suddenly Prince Raj's bodyguard, Sakaki, came. Sakaki says he has the antidote, but she must go with him. She was finally taken to meet Raj. Raj gave her the condition that she must be his concubine in exchange for the antidote. After thinking for a long time, she had to accept that condition to save Zen. At that moment, Zen kicked the door in. Sakaki rushed forward, but was defeated. The other guys were also dealt with by Mitsuhide and Kiki. Shirayuki was worried about Zen's condition, but he said he was fine. Prince Raj is being overbearing because he is the prince of a country. At this time, Zen also introduced himself as the second prince of the Clarines Kingdom. Zen forced him to release Shirayuki if he did not want tension between the two countries. Prince Raj was forced to agree to this. Shirayuki asked Raj to give the antidote to Zen. She then thanked Prince Zen for helping her. Prince Zen invited her to his kingdom because fate brought them together. Realizing Prince Zen's sincerity, she agreed to follow him. Peaceful days have returned to Shirayuki. She currently lives in the kingdom of Zen and continues with her medical profession. Today she went to a herbal store, and there were many new herbs that Shirayuki did not know about. She asked the store owner about a person who came to buy herbal and found out that he was a respectable court herbalist. Only the most talented people in the medical field have such positions. And in this kingdom, talented people are highly valued. The shop owner gave her information about taking the exam to become a court herbalist. If she passed the exam, she would have the opportunity to intern at the palace. Shirayuki then went to Zen's two close friends, Mitsuhide and Kiki, but was held back by two soldiers. At this moment, Prince Zen appeared, causing the two soldiers to panic. The prince and the girl talked so freely and happily together that the two soldiers blushed. She said she wanted to go out and visit everywhere and search for new medicinal sources in the kingdom. So the prince skipped training and took her away. The two arrived at a port. She wondered why the prince often escaped from the palace and went everywhere. Zen said he also wanted to visit everywhere and learn more things that he didn't know yet. It made her very happy to know that the prince also had the same interests as her. At this moment, it was announced that the ship was about to leave, so she quickly said goodbye to the prince and went to search for new herbs. The prince threatened the bad guys and was also quite worried about letting her go alone. Shirayuki is happy and searches for new herbals here. At this moment, she was startled when there was someone behind her, and he knocked her unconscious. Zen has returned to the palace and trains with Mitsuhide. At this time, Shirayuki woke up. She was tied up in a strange room. The kidnapper spoke up, startling her. He introduced himself as Mahara and was going to sell her to someone else because she had very special hair. The next day, Prince Zen came to look for her, but she still hadn't returned. He quickly rode his horse to find her. At this time, Mahara brought her food. She quickly surprised him, locked the door, and ran away. Shirayuki tried to find a way out, but the doors were locked. Mahara escaped and saw her. She hurriedly continued running until she reached the end. At this moment, Mahara rushed to catch her, but she quickly broke the candle and created a cloud of smoke. She burned paralysis herbs, and Mahara collapsed. She continued running to the second floor, opened the window, and jumped down. But she landed a bit too hard. At this time, Mahara found her. He held her and prepared to beat her, but luckily the prince arrived in time. Mahara drew his sword to attack, but was easily defeated by the prince. Shirayuki was very surprised when the prince found her. Then the two of them learned that Mahara was also a noble in the past. But times had changed. He is now an anonymous guy, and he just wants to find ways to make money. Prince Zen angrily said Shirayuki was not a tool to make money. Hearing that, Shirayuki was very touched. The two of them decided to take him to the palace for trial. When Mahara learned that Zen was the prince of this country, he was very shocked. The two of them returned safely, and Shirayuki thanked the prince for saving her. Prince Zen was also happy that she was safe. Today Shirayuki came to the palace following a message from Mitsuhide and Kiki. She wondered to the two soldiers about what the old man was holding just now. They said it was an identification card. It allows the keeper to enter and exit the palace. But Shirayuki doesn't need that because now she has Prince Zen's permission. At this time, a blonde man came and saw her with Mitsuhide. It seemed like he wasn't happy to see her being a commoner and getting special treatment. Mitsuhide asked her to help Prince Zen, who was working hard to repent for all the times he skipped work. Although Prince Zen still worked hard but always thought of Shirayuki, Mitsuhide and Kiki understood this, so they invited Shirayuki to come. Prince Zen and Shirayuki happily talked to each other. A while later, the prince fell asleep because he was too tired from working for a long time. Shirayuki gently covered him with a blanket. She also sat right next to her, reading books about herbal. Someone peeked and discovered Shirayuki. When Zen woke up, Shirayuki had already left, and she had forgotten the book. This time, the blonde man came to the prince. His name is Haruka, and he is the marquis here. He reminded the prince not to get too close to strangers to protect the reputation of the royal family. He was worried that if the prince got too close to her, she would take advantage of Zen. He wanted the prince to leave such a mediocre person. But the prince said she would be talented and wanted her to be with him, making Haruka upset. Seeing that the prince had made up his mind with his decision, Haruka left. He was dissatisfied with the prince's decision and sent someone to handle everything. Someone came and gave Prince Zen's notice to the two soldiers that Shirayuki would no longer be allowed to enter the palace because the prince had been criticized by his subordinates for this. At this time, Shirayuki was just about to enter the palace to get the book and hear everything. She hurriedly ran to find Prince Zen. She realized that the person who gave that order was definitely not Zen. Just at that moment, an arrow flew into the wall in front of her, warning her not to get close to Prince Zen anymore. She ignored it and continued looking for Zen. Haruka's subordinate saw this and wanted to finish off Shirayuki. At that moment, the prince will appear. He wondered about the arrow she was hiding when she told him that someone had warned her not to be around Prince Zen. Shirayuki says she will try to meet Zen with her talent. On the contrary, Prince Zen was very worried that someone would harm her. Shirayuki was thinking about everything when suddenly Count Haruka came to see her. He pressured her, and he pointed the sword at her and said that only those with high status appeared here. But she was not afraid and moved in front of that sword, startling him because her steadfastness was very similar to that of the prince. At this moment, Prince Zen appeared. He criticized Haruka's voluntary actions and reminded him not to be recidivated if he did not want to affect his position. The assassin also found her very interesting, so he would not do anything anymore. His name is Obai, and he is a mysterious person in the palace. Shirayuki then told the prince that she would try her best to make court herbalist here and hope to help the prince. That made Prince Zen very happy. Today is the day of the palace's selection contest. Shirayuki also came, and suddenly she saw someone's appearance and chased after him. It was the boy she saw in the pharmacy. Shirayuki found him very knowledgeable about the drugs. That made her feel very interesting. The boy was embarrassed when she approached and rushed away. Prince Zen also came to find her to see her taking the exam. The chief of this contest is Garak. In this contest, each person will have to take care of a small herbal garden, and after a while, they will evaluate the results. Shirayuki then went to her herbal garden, where everything was designed very well. Prince Zen peeked at her, working hard. Suddenly, Zen discovered anyone was here. He was alert. Shirayuki saw him startled. At this moment, the followers locked both of them in the garden. The prince was very worried if anyone came to discover the two of them together. She asked the prince why he was startled. The prince lied, saying that he just accidentally passed here. When the two of them were talking, she saw that the flowers had planted a strange phenomenon. After checking, the water source was found. After thinking about it for a while, the problem lies in a tree variety that causes toxins in the water. She asked Zen to lock the water source, and both of them treated the soil and plants. The next day, everything was fine. Garak came to check and was surprised to see Zen also here. Some contestants had bad actions to eliminate their opponents in the competition, and Shirayuki was harmed. Fortunately, the prince was also here. Garak reminded the prince not to do so, but the prince came here to voluntarily help her. Garak announced that she had passed this exam because he realized that she was quite close to the prince and that she was also very talented. Garak will let her work under the supervision of a court herbalist named Ryu. Garak then took her to Ryu, and from now on she will be his assistant. This boy was young and quiet, though they were both happy to get acquainted. Shirayuki helped him make medicine. Suddenly someone came to get herbal, but he was startled to know that Ryu would make medicine. He told her that Ryu was rumored to only like to make poison, so he was very worried. Seeing him as ridiculous, Shirayuki explains to him that not all poisonous plants will produce poison. People who do not have a specialty should not be judged indiscriminately. Seeing her anger, he didn't dare say anything more. She told Ryu that he kept silent with those who did not understand would not solve the problem. She was angry with him and went to find Garak. Prince Zen saw and went to Ryu. Ryu thought that because he was young, she may not have faith in him, and that made Shirayuki upset. Zen advised him to frankly talk to her. At that time, Chief Garak gave her the prince's disease file. It may help Shirayuki better understand the condition of the prince and will also benefit her knowledge. She read and realized that Prince Zen was poisoned. The prince then created the immune system for himself, thinking that the prince was poisoned for her, making her very sad. Ryu saw her and hurriedly informed Prince Zen. Zen went to see Shirayuki, and he knew she had seen his medical record. Zen felt sad because he was worried about him, so he gently hugged her and comforted her. Shirayuki then went to Ryu to make peace. Seeing the two of them talk happily made the prince a little jealous. Today Shirayuki will go to a distant place to work. She was taken by Prince Zen because he was also working through this place. Upon arrival, Shirayuki says goodbye to Prince Zen and continued on her way. The prince's group then reached a fortress within the scope of the Clarion's kingdom. There was a soldier in front of them. Zen came here because this place did not send the report as usual. At this moment, Obai appeared and reported to the prince. He checked inside the fortress and found that everyone was asleep. Hearing that, Prince Zen went in to verify it himself. The soldier panicked and told the prince that this fortress was haunted by demons. 20 days ago, everyone showed symptoms of gradual weakening without finding a reason, so they thought it was the devil's doing. Seeing that, he was worried because it was very dangerous for the prince here, but Zen didn't mind. That encouraged him. After that, everyone went to find the reason for this. They checked the arsenal, and there was almost nothing left. Everyone thought that maybe someone was playing tricks here and had stolen everything. Kiki thought Shirayuki could help the people here, so Zen sent Mitsuhide to pick her up. Later, Shirayuki came and helped everyone. She is also worried about the prince and hopes he should leave here to avoid getting infected. But he wanted to be here with her. Mitsuhide reminds Zen of his identity. That makes it very difficult for Zen to think. Shirayuki wholeheartedly takes care of everyone. While she was talking to the soldier, she collapsed. It seemed she had the same symptoms as other sick people. She thought for a moment and realized that only the people in this room were infected. Looking around at everything, Shirayuki realized there was a problem with the logs being burned for heating. She immediately went out to call the prince and informed him that she had found the cause of this disease. Seeing that she had worked so hard made Zen very touched, and he wanted to resolve everything with her before leaving. Mitsuhide then reported that there was a group of thieves nearby. Obai accepted this job and quickly set out to investigate. When Shirayuki was tired and slumped at the table, Prince Zen informed her that everyone was fine. That made her feel very happy. Prince Zen and everyone here adjusted their work as before. But when he heard people say that Shirayuki had been working without resting, Zen was very worried. He immediately went to see Shirayuki and forced her to close her eyes for a moment, causing her to fall asleep. Seeing her so pale made Zen feel very sad. Then Zen and everyone went to the lair of the thieves who stole the weapons. They looked down on them because there were only a few people, but in just a few minutes, the sword was back in its sheath. Zen returned to see Shirayuki, and he asked her to pay attention to her health no matter what she did and not to hide things from him like that again. He thanked her and kissed her hand. Shirayuki was also happy to meet someone she could confide in. The next day, everyone went home happily. Shirayuki will go with Ryu to the herb garden to work today. Prince Zen knew she had a new uniform and identification card, which made him very happy. Zen told her they might not see each other less and thought she would be sad. But Shirayuki asked, sad about what? This made Zen a bit disappointed. Then the two continued their work. Zen found it strange because suddenly more soldiers were assigned to guard the palace. He went back to his room and called Obai to investigate everything. At this moment, a letter was sent. After Zen finished reading, he changed his mind and hurriedly went somewhere. At this time, Shirayuki was at the herbal garden and received an order from His Highness. Ren and two people close to him arrived in front of a room. The person Zen will meet is the first prince, named Izana, and Zen's older brother. Shirayuki was also brought behind the curtain to listen to their conversation. Izana says Zen acted on his own at the fortress the other day and did not deal with the soldiers there, because the soldiers there were subjective, giving the thieves a chance. Izana was able to strip Zen of his title as prince, startling Zen. Izana gave him two options. One was to punish the soldiers there. The other is losing his title of prince. When Zen was having a hard time thinking, suddenly Izana told him that Shirayuki was also here, surprising them. There was no other choice, but Zen was forced to make his choice according to his brother's wishes. Before leaving, Zen came to Shirayuki's side and told her he would see her again. Izana saw that Zen was interested in a girl like Shirayuki, so he was curious. Shirayuki didn't know how to explain. Izana allowed her to leave, but before that, he also told her that Zen's interest in her like that could cause him to lose his status. The next day, Prince Raj came to the kingdom of Clarions at the invitation of Prince Izana to further cement the friendship between the two kingdoms. When Raj saw Zen coming out to welcome him, he was very scared. A royal banquet was held, and Mitsuhide and Kiki did not understand why Izana had called Shirayuki to listen to their conversation. At this time, Prince Izana arrived to preside over the party. Shirayuki was secretly watching from afar. At that moment, Obai appeared and pulled her closer to eavesdrop. The three princes talked to each other. Prince Izana mentioned that Raj was interested in the red-haired girl, making him choke on his wine. It turned out that Prince Izana's intention was to give Shirayuki to Raj. Zen loudly protested against his brother. Shirayuki heard that and was very confused. She and Obai left there. However, Prince Raj was afraid because he had been bullied by Zen before, so he refused to take Shirayuki away. He said he heard that Prince Zen had chosen her as his fiancée, shocking everyone. Zen pulled Raj away to talk. Raj told Zen that he had to say so that she would be allowed to be by his side, or if Zen didn't want to, he was still willing to take her as his wife. Zen flatly denied him taking her away. Zen returns and explains to Izana that there is no way she is his fiancée. At this time, Shirayuki is very worried about how her continued stay here will affect Prince Zen. But she also really wanted to be here to help the prince. She hurriedly ran to look for Zen but couldn't find him. She was returning disappointed when Prince Zen called her. She suddenly hugged Zen, making him very surprised. He guessed that she had something to say. Shirayuki told Zen about her concerns. Zen's brother asked her if she was worthy of being with Zen. After understanding the problem, Zen wanted her to hear the story about Izana. Since childhood, Izana has been a very talented person. He planned and arranged everything very satisfactorily. Zen has witnessed Izana's talent, and he admires him very much. He always wanted to stand side by side with his brother. Zen then led Shirayuki back to the palace. Zen was also very worried that she might encounter many difficulties in the future, but he encouraged her to be herself no matter what. And if anything happens, you can rest assured because Zen is by your side. The next day Prince Raj was taken to visit the herbal factory, but he was very worried and wanted to avoid having to go there. He immediately told his servant to investigate, for fear of meeting Shirayuki. Prince Raj was listless after the tour when suddenly he had a stomach ache and asked his servant to fetch water. At this time, Shirayuki was making herbal and preparing to go out. She heard the rumors about her relationship with Prince Zen and knew this would be inevitable. Zen went to see Izana to talk. He asked for a sword fight to both train and talk about the problem that Zen was wondering about. Zen asked Izana why he talked about her like that. Izana said that there are many girls out there to build relationships with the kingdom. Why did you choose this red-haired girl? If you choose her, you will definitely face many rumors, but Zen still firmly chooses Shirayuki. Zen's words didn't seem to bother Izana. Raj was struggling outside when he suddenly encountered Shirayuki. The conversation seemed a bit tense. Raj was about to leave when he had a stomach ache. He grabbed the water bottle from Shirayuki's hand, but Shirayuki stopped him because it was topical herbal. At this moment, his servant returned and told him to get a checkup first. Izana appears from behind and tells Shirayuki to return to Prince Raj, but she was steadfast and chose to stay here. Seeing her so determined, Izana was quite interested and kissed her forehead. Prince Raj has left. Each person has their own thoughts deep inside them. Zen has a concern in his heart. Rumors about Shirayuki being Prince Zen's fiancé have spread. Maybe someone will come and cause trouble for Shirayuki. Zen was very worried, so he sent Obai to protect her. While Shirayuki was working, Kiki and Obai came to find her. Kiki had given Obai to her, and she had the right to give him orders. Obai and she worked together in Ryu's herb garden. They both brought the herbs to the basement for storage. Obai asked her if she wanted Zen to not be a prince. That made her unhappy and reminded him. Mitsuhide and Zen heard that. They were then invited by Garak to try the new potion. After drinking, they realized it was alcohol, so Shirayuki was drunk. Zen is thinking very hard about what Obai just said. Mitsuhide realized Zen was preoccupied with this. Since he was a child, Zen had always been alone, so Prince Izana sent Mitsuhide to serve him. Even so, Zen still wants to be himself and doesn't want anyone to follow him. He has known and played with a friend since childhood, and the two of them are very close. But meeting him must always be secret because their identities are different. At that moment, Zen just wished he wasn't a prince himself. At that time, Mitsuhide secretly followed the two, and he realized that the guy had a very suspicious look, so he was very worried about the prince. He told everything to Prince Izuna, and Izuna was also quite worried because Ren was at a very impetuous age. That night, Zen sneaked out to meet his friend. Seeing him injured, Zen was very worried. Suddenly, a group of strangers appeared and surrounded Zen. It turns out that Zen's friend and these guys want to capture Zen to lure Prince Izana to appear. Prince Izuna and Mitsuhide have arrived. They hated Prince Izuna very much for destroying their family. But Prince Izuna only destroyed the corrupt people, and these people came for revenge. At this time, they were angry and wanted to take down Prince Izuna, but he and Mitsuhide handled them easily. Zen's friend pointed the arrow at Zen. He had no way back anymore. He was very jealous of Zen because Zen was born in luxury and he himself had a miserable life. Luckily, Mitsuhide was able to block the arrow in time and knock him out. Zen was very sad because his best friend was in this situation. He wished that if Zen wasn't a prince, then things would be different. His sad tears were the last image Zen saw. Mitsuhide realized that Prince Zen had to shoulder everything with his status. Shirayuki woke up from her drunkenness and wanted to go somewhere. Obai followed her and didn't know where she was going. At that moment, Obai realized someone was following her, so he pulled her away. He told her to wait a moment and then go back to deal with the stalker. He was recording everything about Shirayuki for someone and refused to confess. Obai handed him over to the soldiers to deal with. He told Shirayuki that she was being stalked because of rumors that she was Zen's fiancé. She thought about Zen being punished by Izana for not taking care of the soldiers at the fortress. She was very worried that something would happen to everyone there and wanted to go there. Obai realized that Shirayuki and Zen had one thing in common, always getting involved in every problem, no matter what happened to them. Obai said he could help her get there, but he said he had just returned from there and everyone there was fine. He also brought back a notebook recording everything there, making her feel very reassured. She thanked Obai and returned happily, but Shirayuki was still drunk and fell down. Luckily, Obai was able to catch her. Obai found observing Prince Zen and Shirayuki very interesting, and carried her back to her room. Kiki informs Prince Zen that Shirayuki is drunk. Zen immediately ran to find her and found them on their way back. Obai says that someone was following Shirayuki but was dealt with by him. Hearing that, Zen felt somewhat reassured. After the two took her back to her room, they then talked together. Zen thanked Obai for helping Shirayuki feel at ease about the incident at the fortress. He gave Obai his identification card. Now Zen will trust the people he comes into contact with because, although Obai is a mysterious person, he always listens and handles everything with his conscience. Everything Obai did made Zen feel that this person was worth trusting. Zen always respects the people he has chosen and will be stronger to protect them. Work in the herbal garden still passed peacefully. Obai and Shirayuki also understand and get closer. Ryu was so focused on his work that he didn't hear other people's calls. Suddenly, a beautiful bird flew down to Ryu, startling him. That bird belongs to a black-haired girl. Obai and Shirayuki come to get to know her and are surprised that she can control this bird so well. Everyone knows she came here to see Zen. She introduced her name as Kihel and said that the bird was her friend named Popo. She comes from an island in this kingdom, and this bird only lives there. This bird helps people here a lot, from finding rare fruits or helping fishermen find fish. But Kihel is sad because the island where she was born and survived belongs to a new lord. The lord and his friends hunted the birds, even though the people objected to this. But he ignored her and told her to speak with Zen instead. That's why Kihel came here to find Zen. But she was worried because she thought all royal families were the same. Shirayuki tells her Zen is not that kind of person. But when Kihel came to meet Prince Zen, things were not easy. The settlement between the lord and the people had to be negotiated by both sides because the territory there belonged to Viscount Blaker. Shirayuki was a bit sad after hearing Obai describe the negotiation like that. Suddenly, she came up with an idea. Prince Zen also had a hard time thinking about this because he couldn't help Kihel. At this time, Shirayuki went to Zen and told him her idea. Zen called Kihel to come and negotiate with her about letting this bird serve the purpose of using them for communication, which would ensure that this species is preserved. They will not be hunted anymore. But the prince's request was to let the bird perform in front of everyone. Kihel immediately went to ask Shirayuki for help in this matter, and she also agreed. The next day, the performance took place. The time has come, Kihel releases her bird, and it flies to the location where Shirayuki is waiting. At this time, at Shirayuki's place, Viscount Blaker was also there. He wants Shirayuki to make this show a failure. If she agrees to help him, he will help her get rid of all the rumors between her and the prince. But she immediately refused, making him very angry. He snatched the bell she was wearing, which was used to call the bird. He locked her in her room and insulted her for being a commoner. Ignoring those words, Shirayuki opened the window and jumped into the sea. Obai was going up when he was startled to see her jumping down, and he quickly jumped down after her. The bird arrived, but they needed that bell to call it. They searched for the bell under the sea but still couldn't find it. Seeing the bird keep flying around in the same position, Shirayuki immediately realized the bell was there. On the other side, everyone was very worried because time was running out. They thought they had failed, but suddenly the bird returned with the bell. Prince Zen announced that he would use this bird for the kingdom, making Kihel feel very happy. At this time, Zen was also informed that Shirayuki was injured, so he rushed to her. When he arrives, he learns that Viscount Blaker has been convicted of bribing Shirayuki. Zen went up to find her and was very worried about her. He said she was stupid to be so reckless, but it was that personality that made him love her. Zen gave Shirayuki a kiss that surprised her. Zen realized he had gone too far. He apologized to her while Shirayuki was stunned. Everyone returned to the palace. After that, she felt very shy every time she met Zen. These people wonder what is between them. Obai asked her curiously, and she was startled and ran away. Zen went to the island where Kihel lived to discuss with the people about using this bird for the kingdom. But the people here want Viscount Blaker to apologize and compensate for the damage. Zen has a hard time thinking but will try to make this deal happen. But after realizing Prince Zen's sincerity, the clan head agreed to this transaction. That night, everyone on the island happily held a party. Mitsuhide went to see the prince and wanted to know what happened between him and Shirayuki. Zen confesses that he kissed her, making Mitsuhide very curious. Zen said that he had feelings for her for a long time, but it seemed like she was still confused, so she didn't reciprocate his feelings. Shirayuki is trying to work to forget Zen's kiss. Ryu saw that she looked troubled, but she didn't say it, so he told her to try writing it on paper. She planned to go into the forest to calm her mind, and Obai also followed her. At this moment, Zen returned. He saw Shirayuki looking awkward and did not want to face him. Obai immediately told her to run into the forest to avoid Zen, making Zen very angry. Obai says that the one who made her run away was Zen, making Zen realize something. Zen will go see Shirayuki to let her know these feelings. He caught up with her and wanted her to hear the words from his heart. He said that no matter what happened, as long as she was here, everything would always be peaceful. Shirayuki felt Zen's sincerity. She knew her feelings had been for Zen for a long time, and she said she loved him too. Zen knows this girl has had to face many difficulties to be with him. He vowed to use his body to stay by her side and protect her. The kiss they gave each other was proof of that love. Today, the palace was very bustling. Shirayuki wondered why so many people came to the palace today and had so much fun. Derek explains that today is the day the palace opens. All people are allowed to come here to visit. Shirayuki was watching everyone when suddenly Zen pulled her away. He disguised himself as a soldier and came here just wanting to meet her. They were passionately flirting with each other when Zen knew his friends were watching in the background. Even though work is very busy, Zen and everyone will still go on inspections to experience the feeling with the people. Everyone had fun in this festive atmosphere. Mitsuhide revealed to Shirayuki that Zen said he would choose to follow the path she would choose. That made her very happy. Later, Zen had to prepare to meet his people, so he told Obai to pay attention to her. Obai suddenly gave her a hairpin, surprising her. Zen and Izana appear. They are very popular with their people. Shirayuki looked at Zen from above. Her mind had many thoughts. Later, during a theater performance, Ryu and Shirayuki had to treat a girl with an injured foot. She was very worried because the show was about to start, and something like this happened. The troupe leader saw that Shirayuki had very special red hair, so he asked her to act instead. So Shirayuki wore the costume to perform this play. Prince Zen also came to see the play and was stunned when he saw how beautiful she was. Shirayuki wanted to hide her hair from the audience, but the troupe leader was planning something. At this time, Shirayuki went up to perform. After everyone watched, they saw that the troupe leader wanted to do something. He wanted to reveal her hair to increase her appeal to the audience. Thinking that her hair would be exposed, Zen suddenly had an idea and quickly ran away. He appeared on stage as a mysterious knight, protecting the princess. Shirayuki was surprised but also thought he was cool. Obai told her that Zen always protected her, even her hair, and did not allow others to touch it. The play went well, and she was very happy to be able to join Zen on stage like that. At this time, Zen realized she had a strange hairpin and learned that it belonged to Obai. This made Zen a little jealous, but he also found it suitable for her. Suddenly, Shirayuki held Zen's hand and kissed it, surprising him. Suddenly, there was a commotion outside. Shirayuki went out to look and saw many lanterns being released into the sky. Zen told her it was everyone's job to end the festival. The two returned to look at the lanterns together in the beautiful night sky.